In regard to special education, many parents appreciate the progress that Howard County has made in delivery of services over the years, but there's still room for improvement. What do you see as the pros and the cons of special education in Howard County, and what would you do to support the success of students who have an IEP? Ms. Cornrich.
I have a 14-year-old son who has autism and is about to go to enter 9th grade at Howard High School. I've been advocating for his special needs for the last 13 years and have seen a lot of the good and the bad about how we address special education in Howard County. I would say that the best part of the delivery of special education services in Howard County is from birth to age 5. We have got early intervention down to a science, literally. But when, as a child gets older, through elementary school and certainly through middle school, they get lost in, as the gap widens between them and other students. And there is no, in the IEP with all of the goals and objectives that are in there, there is no how. There is no how are we going to get this child from point A to point B. No research method that is used to make sure they reach their goals.
Thank you. Mr. Proudfoot?
I believe special education should be individualized for every child. The first thing, it needs to be a collaborative process where parents have an equal stake with the school system to determine if students have a disability. I work in a Title I school, and so often I see students labeled as special education that come from minority background or backgrounds with poverty. And a big part of my role as an assistant principal is to make sure that we put interventions in place to prevent students from getting that special education label, because sometimes labels can be dislabeling. I support, for those students who are ready, we look at their strengths and needs, and those students who are strong in a certain subject should have every opportunity to be included with their non-disabled peers. They should have every opportunity to learn grade level content and have the same expectations as their non-disabled peers. But once again, it's an individualized decision based on that child. There are students that need more restrictive environments and more self-contained environments so that they can succeed and grow as a student. Thank you.
Ms. French.
I think what our special educators do in Howard County is God's work. They are just wonderful human beings. If you've ever been to Cedar Lane and see how they work with our students, you would know that we are doing a great job. And it's not the board, it's all the staff. We have a way to go, though. When a child is still determined to be diploma bound, we are responsible by law to ensure that when they graduate both career and college ready. So we are going to have to put more emphasis into that area for the students who are identified through their IEPs and are diploma bound. We have to spend more money in that area and find the appropriate programs, as Ms. Kornreich says, for those students.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, I believe we must support IEPs and the needs of the special needs students. Students with special needs, the spectrum is very broad, and it's extremely important for us not to devalue any student, but consider every student as a human being with unique gifts to deliver to our community. We can't overlook anyone because of their limitations or apparent limitations. Every parent who lives in Howard County and is a taxpayer has a right to have the school system teach and provide supports for their children. I think for those people, as Ms. French said, for those people who have the unique gift of teaching and addressing the needs of special needs students, we need to continue to support them and support those programs so that our county can not just be known for how we educate people at the top end, but how we educate all of our children.
Thank you. Ms. Valancourt.
Hi. As many of you know, I have two children, one who is typically developing and one who had special ed issues. Our experience with the IEP, which I believe all kids really should have an individual education plan. And the best teachers already do that and take into account their strengths and weaknesses and learning styles. But specifically, your question was, what should we be doing differently? One of the things that I discovered during the course of my son getting to the point where he's going to be a sophomore in high school, you have an IEP goal. When they reach it, they remove the service. So you end up with this back and forth where I've gotten to this point, but now we're going to take away the services and the support that helped him get there, and we're going to wait till he falls backward again before we give it back. And also, if you don't use services, eventually you have to give up your IEP, which I think is incredibly backward, because if you have a kid who has issues, that needs to stay with him even when he's doing well.
Thank you.
Thank you.